Think about this for a second. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? If you immediately thought 10 cents, don't feel bad. Over 50% of students at Harvard, Princeton, and MIT gave that exact same answer. But here's the kicker. They were all wrong. The correct answer is actually 5 cents. If the ball was 10 cents, the bat would be $1.10, making the total $1.20. Your brain just lied to you, and it did it with total confidence. This isn't just a fun math riddle. It is a window into a hidden war happening inside your head right now between two rival characters who control every single thing you do. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you why your brain would actually prefer to remember a long, painful vacation over a short, happy one, and how understanding this one weird glitch can basically give you a cheat code for human psychology. Welcome to the world of Daniel Kahneman's masterpiece, Thinking Fast and Slow. This isn't just some dry psychology textbook. It is a manual for the human operating system. If you've ever wondered why you bought something you didn't need, why you're terrified of things that aren't actually dangerous, or why you can't seem to win an argument even when you're right, this is for you. We are going to peel back the curtain on the hidden biases that run your life so you can start reading people like an open book and finally take the wheel of your own mind. To understand how you think, you have to meet the two characters living in your skull. Kahneman calls them System 1 and System 2. System 1 is like an Olympic sprinter on caffeine. It's fast, it's intuitive, and it's always on. It's the part of you that instantly knows 2 plus 2 is 4, or that senses someone is angry just by looking at their face. It's your gut instinct. Then there's System 2. System 2 is the slow, grumpy professor. It's logical, it's calculating, and most importantly, it's incredibly lazy. System 2 is what you use when you're trying to solve a complex math problem or fill out a tax form. It takes a lot of energy to run, so your brain tries to avoid using it whenever possible. Think of System 1 as your autopilot, and System 2 as the manual controls. Most of us like to think we are System 2 characters, rational, logical people making smart choices. But the reality is that System 1 is running the show about 95% of the time. System 2 is usually just sitting in the back, nodding along, and finding excuses for whatever crazy thing System 1 just decided to do. This leads to some wild mistakes. For example, researchers once did a study where they asked people to watch a video of two teams passing basketballs. They told the viewers to count how many times the players in white shirts passed the ball. Midway through the video, a person in a full gorilla suit walks into the middle of the court, beats their chest, and walks off. Because System 2 was so busy counting passes, half of the people watching didn't even see the gorilla. Their brain literally deleted a giant ape from their reality because it was too busy. This laziness of System 2 is why you are so easy to manipulate. Take the anchoring effect, for example. Imagine you're walking through a mall and you see a watch that originally cost $1,000, but it's on sale for $200. Suddenly, $200 feels like a steal. That original price, the $1,000, is the anchor. It's a totally random number that your System 1 grabbed onto, and now every other price is compared to it. There was a famous experiment where a group of judges, people who literally get paid to be impartial, were asked to roll a pair of dice before sentencing a shoplifter. The dice were rigged to show either a low number or a high number. Shockingly, the judges who rolled a high number gave significantly longer sentences than those who rolled a low one. They were professionals, yet they were anchored by a pair of plastic dice. Next time you're negotiating for a salary or a car, remember this. The first person to put a number on the table sets the anchor. If you let the other person start, they've already hijacked your brain's scale of what's reasonable. Be the one to set the anchor first, and you're already halfway to winning the deal. But it's not just numbers that trick us, it's the stories we tell ourselves. Kahneman talks about something called the availability heuristic. This is just a fancy way of saying that if we can easily remember something, we think it's more likely to happen. This is why people are terrified of shark attacks or plane crashes, even though you're statistically more likely to be killed by a fallen coconut or a vending machine.
Because news clips of plane crashes are vivid and scary, they stick in System 1's memory. When you think about flying, System 1 screams, "I remember a fire on TV," and you get nervous. Meanwhile, driving to the grocery store is statistically way more dangerous, but because it's boring and doesn't make the news, your brain thinks it's perfectly safe. We don't judge risk based on data, we judge it based on how easily we can picture the disaster. Then there's the law of small numbers. Imagine a small hospital where 60% of the babies born are boys, and a large hospital where the same thing happens. Most people think the small hospital is just as likely to have that lopsided ratio as the large one, but that's a trap. Small samples are much more likely to show extreme results just by pure luck. This is why you see miracle health trends or genius stock traders who had one good year. We are hardwired to see patterns where there is only random noise. We crave stories and causes, so when something random happens, our System 1 invents a reason for it. We see a hot hand in basketball or a lucky streak in Vegas, but usually it's just the universe tossing coins. One of the most powerful concepts in the book is loss aversion. Kahneman found that for humans, the pain of losing something is twice as strong as the joy of gaining it. If I offered you a coin flip where you could win $100 but lose $100, most people wouldn't take it, even though the odds are 50-50. The fear of losing that $100 outweighs the excitement of winning it. This is why we stay in bad relationships, keep holding on to stocks that are crashing, or refuse to throw away old clothes we never wear. We are terrified of locking in a loss. To beat this, you have to start thinking like a professional gambler. Don't look at one single win or loss, look at the big picture over 100 flips. If you only play it safe to avoid loss, you'll miss out on the compounding gains of life. And now we get to the two selves, which is the secret I promised at the beginning. Kahneman explains that you actually have two different yous. There is the experiencing self, who lives in the moment, and the remembering self, who keeps the records. Here's the crazy part. They almost never agree. In a famous experiment, patients underwent a painful medical procedure. Group A had a standard procedure that was short but intense. Group B had the same procedure, but at the very end, the doctors left the equipment in for a few extra minutes, causing a dull, lingering discomfort that was much less painful than the main part.
Logically, Group B suffered more because their procedure lasted longer and included all the pain Group A felt, plus extra. But when asked later which procedure was worse, Group B rated it as much better. Why? Because of the peak end rule. Your remembering self doesn't care about how long an event lasted. It only cares about the most intense moment, the peak, and how it ended. Because Group B ended with less pain, their memory of the whole thing was better. This is why you might have a perfect 2-week vacation, but if you lose your passport on the very last day, you'll tell everyone it was a nightmare trip. Your remembering self is a terrible bookkeeper. It ignores the 14 days of joy and focuses entirely on the final stress. If you want to actually enjoy your life, you need to realize that your memories are edited highlight reels. When you're planning something, a date, a presentation, a trip, focus intensely on making the ending great. The end is what sticks. The end is what becomes the story you tell yourself for the rest of your life. Thinking fast and slow teaches us that we aren't the rational machines we think we are. We are biased, lazy, and easily fooled by a good story. But there's power in knowing that. When you feel that gut feeling telling you to make a snap judgment, stop. Invite System 2 to the party. Ask yourself, am I being anchored? Am I just remembering the most recent news story? Am I just afraid of losing? The bat and the ball might have tricked you at the start, but now you know the game. You know that your brain wants to take the easy path, but the real rewards in life are found on the manual setting. If you found these insights helpful, you definitely need to read the full book because we've only scratched the surface of Kahneman's genius. This knowledge is your shield against manipulation and your sword for better decision-making.
If you enjoyed this summary, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive into the books that change lives. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's a time your gut feeling totally let you down? I'd love to hear your stories. Now, go out there, wake up your system too, and start seeing the world for what it really is. See you in the next one.